So, this is the first time I've ridden a bike for a while. Let's see how this goes. I'm on the 2016 GSX-R 1000, it's red. My helmet is blue, ironically, every other fucking Suzuki is blue. What happened to the blue Gixxer? Oh well. Let's get used to this clutch and stuff first. Cool. Ooh. Excuse me, chaps. Thank you. There's all kinds of people in all kinds of places. Time to go. So, the GSX-R 1000. Already, I'm remembering the 750 test ride of 3 years ago, roughly. And it is heavier, of course, because it's like, I think the curb weight's a good 25-30 kilos above. I don't actually know much about this bike. The brand new model, I mean. Apparently there's now a mode switch in front where the pass switch used to be, as the instructor just showed me a minute ago. This ought to be fun. I'm following the leader because I'm on the big bike. I made sure I booked it because there's like a line of about 100 million years to get on this thing. And yeah, it looks like we're going towards Winchester, so I guess we'll see what happens. I reckon we're going to go Winchester way and then sort of towards Corampton and then back through up the A32 in a big circle. But that feels good already. Mirror check. Oh man, I have missed this to no end. And I'm not even wearing a neck scarf, you know, a neck tube or anything because it's just so warm today, man. Now I'm riding, I'm firstly just concentrating on the fact that I'm cooling down. It's kind of nice. It's so sunny, man. Like, I've got to be a little careful. This bike has done 75 miles. It's basically brand new. It's been out a couple of times this morning, apparently already. With the exception of that, the tyres are of course brand new as well. So, and it is an escorted test ride, so there's no funny business. I'm going to be following this instructor pretty much to the T. There's also a guy at the back of the group as well. So yeah, it's just a case of feel the bike and have some fun, really. Make sure I keep some decent distance on the back here. Also, I'm really quite happy with the fact that my foot doesn't hurt on these pegs in this position. I've sat on other bikes where my foot has literally like cramped up pretty much instantly. I've been doing a lot of weight training and it's been doing wonders for my leg, I think. So, the first thing, this reminds me instantly of the BMW, except for the BMW has like a willingness to want to go a lot. Like any liter bike, I should think that this bike, I mean, I can't really tell that it wants to go, but I can imagine if it does, that it will, yeah. As I'm in 6th gear, that was a little tweak and it jumped up 10 miles an hour like straight away. So the forward demonstrator guy and the revert and the rear, the guy bringing it in the rear, has actually, I think they're connected via radio, so there are no issues with the group at all. Like any bike, it's going to take a little while to get used to the smoothness of it, so I'm going to be like jerking on and jerking off again, because that's what happens. And this is just my luck. Every single time I take out a bike, there's always something big and slow in front of, you know, a lot of things. So, and there's not really a whole load of straights this way on the A272. This is going to be about as instructive and informative as any of my other test rides, which is, well, not at all. Because at the end of the day, I haven't ridden a bike in 6 months. Except for Mike's, like the other day, I took Mike's up and down the road in the middle of Soberton. Just because I wanted to, you know, remember what it was like to ride something before I got on this awesome beast. Nyom. Getting my twerk on, you know. That's how you twerk on a bike. Jerking off again. So glad to be on a bike that I love. This is like the last liter bike I really wanted to test. I'm not that bothered about the ZX-10. To be honest, it's not one that really intrigues me. I took the 6 out. It was 8. We could potentially be going like a really awesome route, and we're just not, because this guy. We are sticking to the rules of the road at all times, so whatever this guy does, I'll do, but other than that, I won't be doing anything. And we can't overtake here because double whites, so there you go. Instructor guy's like, for fuck's sake. Because of the fact that it's actually a Hazelmere Suzuki ride, they have to at all times stick to the highway code and so on. So ordinarily, you know, most people would have overtaken this guy by now, just because, damn son, you taking the piss. But yeah, not an option when you're being not watched, but like, you know, effectively. Oh, here we go, woohoo! So he's turning left. Let's go and have some fun. Whoa! Suicide pigeon! I'm doing the same thing here as I did when I went out with Renna on the BMW. She took me down a road I had no idea about. And although I know this one a little bit, I don't know it fully and completely. Yeah, this one goes a bit. It just feels like the 750, kind of, just not so... It's, I'll be honest, versus the 750, this isn't really ticking a lot of boxes in terms of the way it feels and so on. It literally just feels like the same bike, except for I can kind of tell that it is heavier. Some responsible cyclists. Don't overtake now. Look where you're going, asshole. Yeah, man. It's good. It is good though. It definitely is obviously more powerful than the 750. I'm just enjoying this, man. I might not talk as much as you may be expecting, but I'm just so happy with being out on a bike again, you know? So, I wonder if we're going to end up going down the Moorstead Road. Maybe that's the plan. Hopefully that's the plan. I love that road. That's also one of Renner's favourite roads, I believe. Or if not, Renner's favourite road. Skyline, oh! Dang. I'm having the time of my life already. This is the best thing. Don't go, oh no, why? Oh, dang it. You could have indicated. You know, that's how turning into roads works. You do the indication thing. And now we've got this this guy with all these many fences terminally stuck in gear 2. This is happening far too often. Okay, I think we might, if he goes, I might go. I can't see, because this guy's being a fucking douchebag. Why is he like in the middle? What the fuck are you doing, asshole? This has been re-tarmacked, resurfaced. What the fuck? It smells of top. This is fresh. This is a good thing to follow with any test ride, really. You can be confident in the abilities of the bike and be confident in the abilities of the person who's leading you if they're a decent rider. And target fixation is a good thing in that sense, because if I just keep focused on this dude, I know that I can get round corners at the same speed that he can, because the bike will just do it. And that's you know, I'm not the most experienced rider, but that's what, in, you know, 90% of the time that I've found it works for me. That doesn't mean to say it's going to work for everyone. It depends on your own confidence. But I'm just watching this guy, and the bike is just going where this guy's going, because I'm just watching him and just trying to maintain my position, not being worried about where it's going, and trying to maintain my distance from him at all times. And going around corners, I'm not braking or anything, I'm just letting off the gas. Unless I see him braking or changing gear before a corner, I'm not doing it myself. So it's just really easy, nice fluid motion. And it's a good way to get around a bike that you don't know, because the bike is better than you. The back brake on this is seemingly a little bit wimpy. Yeah, it's very wimpy. There actually is hardly any back brake at all. That's quite... they might want to get someone to look at that. Because that's interesting. That like doesn't seem to do much. I know it's not supposed to really do much, but it's better to use the rear brake while turning than it is to use the front. The front stops you from turning. So I've got a little surprise. Like literally, that was a test there. The rear brake didn't really seem to want to go very far at all. As in, the pedal locked out, and it was at the bottom, like almost unnoticeable. Unless the pedal goes even further, or it hits a contact point. Oh, I just hit a dead fucking rat. Dang it. I didn't see that early enough to be able to... Right, back brake. It really is not... It's like not doing anything. It's quite bad, actually. They've resurfaced this whole damn road. I'm gaining speed. This is going to be the same tractor, and he's fucking took a shortcut. I'm like terminally stuck in gear 2 or 3 for half of this ride. I'm sweating one out. I like it in red. I just don't. I'm not into red bikes really. I'll leave that up to Renner. This is just ridiculous. We actually have had more time following tractors than anything else. This guy's literally, he's gone through the middle. He's like gone, I know what I'll do. I'm going to go to Morsted Road and fuck up these guys' test ride. I was just a tiny little bit nervous before we started this. Just because of the fact that I know what the bike can do, and you know, like I know what the power's like and all that stuff, because it's just like every other 1000cc bike out there. But I'll be honest, as far as 1000cc bikes go, or litre bikes as they're more aptly known, over this I'm still going to say the BMW is my favourite. I think honestly there is no bike that I've ridden that I've enjoyed more than that. This has been a lovely breath of fresh air. I think over this I will buy the 750. I'm going to link my other video in now. I'm going to put a little overlay up here on the screen somewhere. Why do we have to go back to Crescent? Oh, you son of a... Well, I mean, you know, that video was made 3 years ago. I filmed that. Literally, Facebook told me the other day that it was 3 years ago. Since the day that I rode the GSXR 750 from Crescent Suzuki in Lowford, when it was still Suzuki and now it's a Honda, which sucked because at the time we still had a Honda in Chichester, and the closest Suzuki to me then was Verwood, which is about an hour and a bit away. I will apologise as well for the audio quality, because you may or may not have been able to hear what I've been saying for, if not all of this test ride, most of it. Because the fact that I haven't got a neck scarf on, because it's just so fucking hot today. Like, it's like 18 degrees in the UK, which is brilliant. Shorts and t-shirts, weatherman. We've not had this stuff for a little while. My mission now, this is probably going to be my last upload for another month or two. But I am sorting my finances out, and therefore hopefully by the end of the summer, which is kind of the wrong time to get one I guess, but hopefully I'll be able to get a bike soon, and it will just be something that I can run around on. Like, it won't be anything particularly nice. Like, if anything, it'll just be like a GS500 or something, just so I've got two wheels so I can get around without having to take my van everywhere, which I've had to take down. You're going to see it on the way back to Loomies actually. I've had to take my van to this test ride because I suck at owning vehicles. This being a very specifically a escorted ride, hasn't really taken away from it, to be honest. He said don't break formation, but he broke formation. There wouldn't have been enough room for all of us to pull over next to him. That's it now. I'm not overtaking this guy because there's no point. And I've done 25 miles roughly while I've been on this, and well, that pretty much brings this test ride to a close, guys. I mean, like I say, I wouldn't buy it in red for a start. I don't think I'd buy the 1000 over the 750. It hasn't really wowed me that much, honestly. Like, it's just felt like every other liter bike I've ever ridden except the BMW, which is in a league on its own, but probably for good reason, because damn, it's so fucking expensive. But yeah, other than that, it's all good. It's a really good bike, guys. I'm not gonna lie. It just hasn't wowed me because I've ridden the 750, and to be honest, that's exactly the same in my opinion. So, and there's my van. Whee! What bell end? Why did I have to bring that down here?